Come on, please, and meet Groucho Marx again.
Welcome to the show, Rowena. Remember that dance you did when you were here last time?
Yes, I do.
Well, that did something to me, that dance. By the way, last time I saw you, you were planning to get married. Did you finally go through with it?
Yes, we've been married about 6 months, very happily.
Oh. And your name isn't Heimstra anymore? Huh?
No, it's Mrs. Frank P. Sano.
How do you like marriage?
Oh, it's fine. It's very, very nice.
Is it all that you anticipated?
Oh, yes, yes. And I don't have to feed the chickens. That's
You don't feed the chickens
No,
anymore?
no,
Well, that's certainly a good reason to get married. Certainly much easier to feed one rooster than it is a flock of chickens. Now, Rowena,
Yes.
now that you're married, could you still do that dance that you did for us some time
I sure
ago?
could. I have to have a little rock and roll music, though.
You need music?
Sure.
You call rock and roll music?
Yes, shake, rattle, and roll.
Jack, could you play Shake, Rattle, and Roll? Just the shoes, Rowena, huh? Okay, tail loose, and the rockier the better, Rowena. Rowena, despite the fact that you were very shy, that was a wonderful dance.
Thank you.
Now, I have a surprise for you. I want you to meet an old friend of mine who's been watching you. Mr. Allen? This is a real surprise. This is Rowena Heimstra. And this is Mr. Allen. He's a big movie producer in Hollywood. And right now he's producing a very important picture over at MGM. And I asked him to be here tonight so he could see your dance.
Oh, no.
Now, Corrigan, did you see the dance?
How could I miss it?
What did you think of Rowena?
She looked great on a wide screen.
You think you could use her in the big circus?
I not only think I could use it, but if she'll call me tomorrow morning, at 6:30 in the morning would be too soon, I'll have a contract ready for you.
Oh. How would your husband feel about this? Now, when you see this picture, when it comes out, be sure and look for Rowena. You may have to look fast.
No. When you see the big circus, you won't have to look fast. She'll be all over the screen.
It's a wonder, well, she was all over here tonight. Well, Iwan, thanks for coming down to the show tonight. I saw your show the other night on TV.
How'd you like the new
Very
girl?
good,
Yes,
good.
right. Rowena, good luck.
Rowena, good luck in your new career.
Thank you, Groucho.
Maybe tonight a star has been born. Now go over and sit down with Miss Allen.
Groucho, Janine Grandel and James Cummings are standing by. So, folks, you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Betcha Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. Janine Grandel and James Cummings. Mr. Cummings, are you related to Bob Cummings?
Yeah, no relation, Groucho.
Are you Cummings through the rye?
No, he's C-U-M-M-I-N-G-S. I am C-U-M-M-I-N-S, Cummins.
And you're Janie Grandel, is that right?
That's right, Groucho.
Janine, is that the way you pronounce it?
Janine.
Janine, huh? Are you related to Mr. Cummings?
No, Groucho. I was born in France, in Lille, and I was raised in Paris.
Did you go to school in Paris?
I went to school, to college, and then to dramatic school, Groucho, where I studied singing and music and acting.
Mm-hmm. Which of these careers did you follow?
Acting, Groucho. And I think I could have been a big star, but you know, I was consumed by love. L'amour, toujours l'amour, vous savez.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I had 2 husbands, 10 years apiece.
Well, that's getting pretty good mileage, I would say. You say you were an actress in France?
Yes, sir.
Have you done any acting in Hollywood?
Oh, yes, several things, darling. I'm just now in a movie.
You're in a movie now?
Yes, The Return of the Fly.
Oh.
You know, through 20th Century Fox with Monsieur Vincent Prise.
Give me that again.
With Monsieur Vincent Prise.
Would you explain this to me? I didn't get it all.
I didn't either.
Well, Vincent Price.
Price?
Vincent Price.
Spell it.
Vincent. V-I-N-C-E-N-T.
Oh,
Vincent.
Vincent.
Price. P-R-I-C-E. Price.
Imagine what I'm going to go through here with this. Now, Mr. Cummings, I'll call you Bob, huh? Where are you from, Bob?
No, Jim is the name, Groucho.
Jim Cummings? Where are you from?
No, I'm the Jim Cummins from County Cork, Ireland.
Well, sure, you know what?
Yes.
You're from County Cork. That explains why you bobbed up here, huh? How long, you see, the Cork is, you know. How long have you been in this country?
I came here 30 years ago, Groucho, and landed in New York with $50 in my pocket. 30 years ago.
Where'd you get the $50?
Oh, that was necessary to get in. You had to have that.
Yeah, but where did you get it?
Oh, I brought it from home with me.
Yeah, but where did you get it?
Oh, it was a kind of an advance.
Oh.
Not in the category of a remittance man, now, but I was entitled
In
to
other
it.
words, you stole it, is that it?
No,
I never
it-
saw a man so reluctant to reveal the source of his money.
Well, it was only 50.
Well, but $50 you're entitled to steal. It isn't much of a grubstake. I think you've done very well to make it last for 30 years. What kind of a job do you have now?
Well, at the present, I'm president of the Asiatic Trans-Pacific Company. It's an Oriental moving company,
Oh.
moving in the Orient. And we have also, I'm president of the Market Street Van and Storage Company in San Francisco.
You said the secret word, San Francisco Market and Storage.
Thank you
Isn't there
very
a
much.
secret word? Where's the word? Come back soon, huh?
She'd be a nice subject for moving, wouldn't she?
Yes, she would. Where would you like to move her? Into your living room? What did you say you were president of the United States?
President of the Market Street
I
Van.
kind of lost interest in you, you know.
Oh.
You struck me as a very interesting man before she came down here.
Well, I was saying, and I was interrupted by her comment.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well,
But I was also president
Is
of
there
the-
any other interruption that you'd prefer? I mean, perhaps we could send out an old raggedy stagehand here.
Well, for $50, she can keep on interrupting me. I don't mind.
The next time you don't get anything. She takes the 50 back.
I see.
Well, you must be a very successful... Now get... Let's concentrate on what we were talking about before. Will you send that down again, please? Send it down. All right, now take another look. All right, you can go now.
Very interesting movement. I mean, moving.
Well, you must be a very successful man to keep your mind off your business while this girl keeps bobbing up and down there. Huh?
Well, I have one more title, Groucho, that goes along, that I am also the vice president of Allied Van Lines, one of the largest trucking companies in the world.
Yeah. You don't think I have any interest in what you're talking about, do you? How did you meet your wife, Jim? I hate to bring this subject up, since you seem to be interested in other things.
Yes, I met my
Are you
wi-
sorry you got married?
Oh, no, I should say not.
No.
Been at it now for 22 years,
Yeah.
23 years, as a matter of fact. I
Why
met
you-
my wife on a train going from San Francisco to Los Angeles. She was traveling with her grandmother, and she made a hit with me immediately, and I invited the grandmother to dinner that night and suggested that she bring her granddaughter along.
This was on the train?
Yeah, on the train.
This was a dirty trick to play on the old lady, wasn't it? You know, Jim, you're a typical Irishman. You have a way of throwing the old bull around that's charming. Do all Irishmen have this talent?
No, it isn't bull, Groucho. It's blarney. And there's a fine distinction between bull and blarney.
There is, huh? Now, you give me, what is the distinction, you say, between bull and blarney?
Well, as a matter of fact, there's 3 categories there. There's,
Now,
there's
before
this-
you start, I want to ask you a question. Have you got your mind completely cleared off this girl in the cage?
Well, if there's another secret word, I'd like to whisper it to her.
Now, understand the difference between Bull and Blondie.
No, there is.
There is
left,
another
you left a kind of a bit of an inference there that really didn't belong, because an Irish Bull is a kind of a grotesque, blundering language, like a fellow, you'd say of him that every time he opened his mouth, he put his foot in it.
But you still want her to come down, huh?
Oh, well, I thought she might have another $50.
Suppose she came down without money, would you still, would give you a kick?
I'd like to see her once more.
Will you turn around and let the audience look at you, too? What is your name?
Lisa.
Lisa? Mm-hmm. Turn around and let the audience see how pretty you are. Yeah, walk around the cage. Come over here. Now take the cage up. You come over here and sit down, yeah? Now, wait a minute. Would you mind getting up a minute? Now, I hope you're satisfied.
She looks like the original wild Irish rose, doesn't she?
I don't know what she...
Oh, the rose of Tully, maybe.
Yeah, she looks mighty nice. Now, have we gone all through the
No, we
distinction?
didn't. I did want to make the
Tell me, explain Blondie to me.
Oh, well, the difference between Blarney and Bologna is fine also. There's this Italian bologna. That's what you call an unvarnished lie. Bologna is laid on so thick that you dislike it. But Blarney is different. That's flattery laid on so thin that you love it. Now, telling a woman who's 60 that she looks like 30, that's baloney. But asking a woman how old she is because you want to know at what age women are most beautiful, that's Blarney.
Yeah, but if you're hungry, wouldn't you rather have some bologna on the rye bread?
No, funny thing, they don't say that. It is maybe better defined by the old taxi driver in Dublin who was being very careful with an old customer of his because he was going to get a good tip. And she thanked him profusely for being so kind to an old woman. And he says, "Madam, I don't care how old you are, you don't look it."
That's Blondie. I do that all the time. What? Janine, I don't care how old you are, you don't look it.
Thank
How
you.
old are you?
Oh.
Never mind, skip it. Okay, let's see how you operate. You ask her how old she is. You ask her.
I wish you would tell me how old you are because I want to know at what age women are most beautiful.
Well, darling, you see, in France we say a woman has got 3 ages. The one she has, the one she looks, and the one she says. So you pick it.
I think that's Blarney.
Janine, you say you're not married?
No.
What happened to your marriages?
Well, honey, you see, I lost Charles to Gilbert. And I lost...
What? Just a moment.
I lost Charles to Gilbert, n'est-ce pas? Gilbert. The first one was Charles, you see? Understand? Yeah. All right. Now, after 10 years, I lost him to Gilbert. In other words, I met Gilbert, and, well, we kind of drifted apart, Charles and me, and I married Gilbert. Now, after 10 years, I lost Gilbert to my cat.
Give me that. What was that?
I lost Gilbert to my cat.
You threw your husband out and got a cat?
Darling, he doesn't like him. I like him, and he does not like him. And that is not just one cat, either. It was 78 cats I lost him to.
You have 78 cats, and your husband objected to a trivial little thing like that?
Yes, darling.
Well, why did you start collecting cats? Were they cheaper than stamps?
Darling, I didn't collect them. They just happened. I came from Paris 2 years ago with 6. Then they were 24.
I thought you came from Catalina.
Then they were 24.
24 cats?
And now they are 78. And each time I turn around, there is another little litter there.
2 years ago, now you had 6 cats, right? And now you have 78. That's trombones, isn't it? Let's see, assuming originally you had 3 males and 3 females, breeded about 20 kittens every year, 20 times 2 is 40.
Every year.
20 times 20 is 4. Janine, I have news for you. Some of these cats are dogging it.
That's right, darling. I know.
You should have many more cats. Well, who's taking care of these felines? Do you have a cat sitter?
I brought them with me.
You have 78 cats here in this... Phantom, George, come out here. George, did you know about this woman having 78 cats?
Yes, I do.
And you didn't tell me, George. You thought it'd be a great joke to suddenly spring 78 cats on me, is that it?
Yeah.
Only a rat would think of a trick like that. Where are they? Are they on leashes or in a tree or where?
Yeah, right there, Daddy.
Oh, you go and get them, George.
I wonder if, Lisa, would you like to help me get the cats?
I knew he'd find some way of getting her up there. You know what's going to wind up? He's going to get her. I'm going to wind up with 78 cats. Janine, you better give him a hand. George might frighten them. They may think he's a gay dog, which, of course, he is. What do you think of this? Have you ever seen it? Jim, what do you think of somebody who'll bring 78 cats to a quiz show?
I can understand why she's enjoying single bliss, believe me.
Yes. The only trouble is she's not enjoying it. 78 dogs.
Well,
Have you got any 78 dogs or anything?
No, I didn't bring anything like that.
What did you bring anything for me?
I brought, yes, indeed.
You did.
I
Money?
brought you
Some money?
No money. I brought you a piece of the Blarney stone from Blarney Castle in Ireland.
Oh, really? Well, that'd be a very nice... Where is it?
I have it in the back.
In the back of what?
Right here.
Well, would you go get it?
Yes.
I have a choice between 78 cats and a Blarney stone. I'll take the stone. Now, go get it. Here I am, finally, after 12 years, with nobody to talk to. I knew this would eventually...
Well, with this, you'll never be lonesome, I'll guarantee you.
Oh.
This is the real thing.
Oh, let me show it to the audience. Have you ever seen a Blarney stone? You know, Jim, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I've got better-looking rocks in my head than this. You know, there's some lipstick on here. Has somebody you know been kissing this?
That's been kissed all over the world, Groucho. I've taken
what
it
about
everywhere
you?
with me. Oh, I've hung on to it a few times.
How'd you get it?
Well, I wrote to my cousin in the old country, and I asked him to chip off a piece of the stone, and he did and sent it to me.
What is this good for?
Well, it gives you the gift of gab. As a matter of fact, if you kiss it, you will become more eloquent than you are presently, by far. And will do you no harm.
When I'm reduced to kissing rocks, I'm going to cancel my subscription to Playboy. Can they sing when the saints come marching in?
Oh, they sing beautifully. You should have heard a little while ago on the trip. They were all singing together.
Janine, tell us about these rat catchers.
These rat catchers?
Yeah.
They're no rat catchers. They wouldn't want to do with a rat.
What are these?
Now, those are platinas, you see?
What are you,
They're called
these?
chinchillas. Those are turtles.
And those?
Those are platinas.
Yeah.
And these are creams. They're kittens, creams and platinas, you see? And these are platinas, too. Those are Siamese.
Do all of these cats live in your house?
They live in the garden. They have little houses of their own.
How much does it cost to feed these beasts?
About $250 a month, $250 a month.
Well, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
That's a lot of money.
Why did you pick on cats for pets? Why not rabbits?
This is Bobo.
That's a very pretty cat, you know?
He weighs 22 pounds.
Must keep you busy naming them, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, oh, they're... George. Fenneman, would you mind removing your friends? It isn't that I don't care for cats. I happen to love cats, but if I want something in bunches, I'd rather have bananas. I will tell you bet your life. You know how to play the game, huh?
Yes, for sure.
You know how to play this game?
I have a fair idea, Groucho.
Now, you get 4 in a row right. You selected foreign words and phrases, huh?
He did.
All of the following. is the Latin phrase that means by the day or daily?
Per diem?
Yeah, that's right, per diem.
You have one right.
What is the Latin phrase that means in memory of?
Yes. In memoriam.
In memoriam is right.
You now have 2 right. Get the next 2 right, you'll have $1,000.
What is the Japanese word that means goodbye or till we meet again?
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
You have 3 right. You're almost there.
What is the German word that means good health or bless you?
Gesundheit.
It's the same to you.
And you have 4 in a row and win $1,000. Now you can take your $1,000 and quit, or you can come back later, take a chance at the wheel, and maybe win $10,000.
And we'll see you later if
Yes.
you're going to continue. And if not, we'll see you in April.
Their names are Skip and Gloria Fickling, so folks come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and take home an extra $100. Skip and Gloria Fickling, and you're man and wife, I understand.
Yes.
Yes, we are, Groucho.
You have any kids?
Yes, we have 2 boys, Groucho.
Skip, how did you meet Gloria?
Well, I was on vacation, Groucho, and over at Catalina Island. And I was staying at this little place. It had a little sort of a catwalk running along outside the rooms. And Gloria was climbing backwards out of a window in a 2-piece bikini bathing suit.
And what happened after that? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, it all turned out all right because, well, he kind of followed me around all weekend anyway. And finally, when I went to church on Sunday morning, he sat next to me in church and held my hand all through the service, which was very touching.
He held your hand all during the service?
He really did.
Why was that? Didn't he trust you when the collection plate came around? Skip, do you have a job, or do you still spend all your time looking in hotel windows?
Well, yes, Groucho. Gloria and I are G.G. Fickling.
I beg your pardon. I must have missed something. What was that last remark?
Well, Gloria and I collaborate together on mystery detective stories under the name G.G. Fickling.
Oh. You better explain it to me, Gloria. What kind of detective stories do you write?
Well, Groucho, we have a female private detective. Her name is Honey West. And she's...
Why did you name her Honey West?
Well, we thought a long time
You writing for
about
B
the name-
pictures?
Well, no, not yet.
Why?
But, well, we called her Honey West because we thought it was an appealing name. We wanted to have an appealing female
Well-
private detective, and we had her voluptuous and a blue-eyed blonde. She measures 38, 22, 36.
Is that good?
Well, we thought it was
It's
kind of
adequate,
good
huh?
because-
So why do you say, why 42? Well, it's such an arbitrary number. Why not 52 or 62?
Well, that's a good question. I think that's good you said that, Groucho. I think that...
You know, actually, I don't agree with this current theory that the public is only interested in freak, voluptuous figures. A number of our most popular actresses have proved that talent is a lot more important. You don't have to be a great big monster in order to be a success. Look at me. I'm a success. You know what my dimensions are? 21, 46, 46. Skip, are your detective stories successful?
Well, we think so, Groucho. We now have 4 published novels, and they've sold over 1 million copies. And we've had entrees from motion picture and television.
Well, you must be cleaning up at 50 cents a copy of a ready-made over, let's see, 53, 98, 153. You must have made close to $500,000. Is this right?
Well, not exactly, Groucho. You see, our books only sell for 35 cents.
Yeah. 35 cents for a book about a girl whose dimensions are 38, 22, 36. Is that right?
Yes.
Why, the cover alone is worth more than that. And you can imagine what you uncovered, what it must be worth. Who dreams up the miters? Do you do it?
Skip does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looks
No,
rather kindly, I guess. If you don't know him, you'd think he was just an innocent man.
Very kind.
You just, have you ever killed anybody yourself?
Not yet, Groucho.
Well, why are you casing her?
I was just wondering if they...
Well, we collaborate, you know. That gets kind of rough once in a while.
It does. What's the best way to kill somebody? I have only asked because I have somebody in mind.
Well, I guess
Cyanide?
Oh, gas or poison
Probably depends on the individual, don't you think?
I suppose just running them over with a truck is just the old-fashioned method, you know, is good.
Yeah. Then you got to pay for the gas, though. Now, you don't have to use the high octane, though. You can use this regular gas. Tell us about your latest book. What is it about?
Well,
Is it about anything?
Yes, it's actually it's called Honey in the Flesh.
Honey in the Horn, I remember. Honey in the Flesh, I don't recall.
Well, it's about murder in an international beauty pageant, and the secondary story is kind of interesting. It's a beatnik theme.
And I wish you a lot of luck with your detective stories, and I wish you a lot of luck now in the quiz. You selected professions of famous people. I'm going to ask you, have you met Mr. Fenneman?
No, we haven't.
He's writing a book called Inside China. He's collaborating with John Gunther. All right, are you ready? If you miss two in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row, you win $1,000. When did your book come out, George?
My book?
The book on China.
Oh, it'll be a while.
You see, he's got some stuff he has to put in about Tibet. He's going to call it, And So Tibet. Now,
Oh, that could be a big seller.
yes, it will. Well, he has a big cellar at home. That's where he keeps his food. All right, now, what was David Belasco's profession? David Belasco, what was his profession?
In the theater business.
He was a theatrical producer and dramatist and wore his collar upside down. I don't know who he was trying to fool. Are you ready?
You now have one right.
What was Maurice Ravel's profession?
Was it music?
Yes, he was a composer.
You now have 2 right. Get the next 2 right, and you'll have $1,000.
What was Samuel Langhorne Clemens' profession?
He was a writer.
That's right.
You're almost there. You have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
What was James J. Jeffries' profession?
He was a fighter.
He's probably the greatest heavyweight ever.
Oh, you were
4 in a row, and you win $1,000.
Why, it was nothing at all. It was a pleasure, huh?
I was going to say that perhaps you know that you can keep your $1,000, or you can come back later and perhaps try for 10,000. Groucho, Phyllis Warren, and Ronnie Shell are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's something you find around the house. This is something I'd like to find around my house. Phyllis Warren and Ronnie Shell, huh? Phyllis, are you married?
No.
No, that's good. Ronnie, what about you?
No, I'm not, Mr.
You're
Marx.
not. Have you looked at her yet?
Yes, I have.
You make a nice-looking couple, and I see no reason in the world why you two shouldn't get married. And I see plenty of reasons why you should. Ronnie, how old are you?
I'm 27, Groucho, just
27.
2 weeks ago.
And you, Phyllis?
23.
23. Huh? Perfect match. Where are you from, Ronnie?
I'm from Richmond, California.
Richmond? I thought that was in Virginia or West Virginia.
We have a small town up in northern
Subsidiary
California.
Richmond, huh? Where are you from, Phyllis?
I'm from Barnesdale, Oklahoma.
Do you have a job, Phyllis?
Yes, I do, Groucho. I work for an engineering company.
You work for an engineering company?
Yes.
Well, what do you do there? It's kind of a strange job for a pretty young girl, isn't it?
Oh, well, I'm a stripper.
What'd you say?
Well, you see, I work in technical printing, and I strip out the misspelled words, and I strip in the new words. That's all.
Well, I'm terribly disappointed in what you just done. And this is all you do in this. Do they have other girls there in that same vocation?
Oh, yes, we have about 3 strippers.
I must come and drop in there sometime. Is it near here?
Yes, I work on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Oh, well, I'll find it. Now, what kind of a job do you have, Ronnie?
I'm a comedian, Groucho.
You're a comedian. Never in the course of human events have so many comedians got so few laughs from such a big audience. Are you a TV comedian, Ronnie?
No, Groucho, I've never done
Radio
TV.
comedian?
No, I've never done radio.
Stage comedian?
Very little, no.
Do you ever work the gambling hells in Vegas?
I haven't had the pleasure as yet. I just...
Well, where do you work? At PTA meetings?
Well, no, actually, I work these little out-of-the-way, off-beat places like the Purple Onion in San Francisco and some of the clubs.
Doesn't that hurt your eyes working in there?
No.
You're working out-of-the-way nightclubs, huh? Well, what kind of customers patronize this type of flip joint?
Well, actually, we have all types of people. I think primarily in San Francisco at the Purple Onion, we have these beatniks from the Beat generation.
Well, what is a beatnik?
Well, my definition of a beatnik would be a fellow on the bottom looking down.
Are you a beatnik, Ronnie?
No, Groucho, I'm not myself, but I know quite a lot about them because I used to have this little laundry truck route up in the North Beach area of San Francisco, and some of them were my customers, so I got to know quite a few of them.
I didn't know the beatniks used any laundry. What do they do for a living, these beatniks? How do they make out, you know, that they have enough money at night to go to these places?
They do as little as possible, actually. They're nonconformists, actually, and some people like to drink, they don't drink, and some people have cars, they don't have any cars.
That's really not the beat generation, that's the deadbeat generation. Aren't they supposed to be sort of the long-haired, egg-head crowd, poets and students and philosophers?
Well, yes, there's about, I would say 200 of them in this North Beach area, and I'd say 13 or 14 of them have real talent. The rest of them just...
Now, don't they dress rather peculiarly?
Yes, they do.
Well, why is this?
Well, they're nonconformists. The normal people, we dress fairly nice.
Well, don't look at me.
Well...
I've been wearing this jacket for 11 years.
And they run around, some of the guys run around with beards, and sandals, wear sandals, and the girls run around in black leotards, and...
Now, what is a leotard?
It's a black stocking, actually tight, that goes all the way up.
Ballerinas wear, except they wear shoes with it, you know, instead of
How do you know? You haven't been in these places, have you?
Well, I do wear black stockings sometimes, but I just like them, and a lot of girls do.
A lot of girls like black stockings? But what is there about black stockings that's, well, more interesting than just regular nylons?
Well, they're warmer.
You don't wear them because they're warm.
Well, they look more colorful.
You don't have to clean them as often.
He's worried about a flower.
That could kill your laundry business, couldn't it? But they have their own vernacular, these beatniks, don't they? Their own language?
They do.
Well, I don't understand. How do they talk? I mean, do you know how to talk beatnik?
I know most of the words that they...
Well, could you tell us a joke using beatnik language, like you do in the Purple Onion?
Let's see. Well, now, these two cats were in this 12-story...
Cats, wait a minute. Fenneman. Tell us about a cat. You can learn something, George. Stay right here. It's Mr. and Mrs. Beatnik. Have you met them?
How do you do?
All right, go ahead.
I know you.
Start it again so he knows what you're talking
Okay.
about.
These two cats were in this 12-story pad, you see, on the top of the 12-story pad, and one of them, makes the scene out the window down 12 stories, see? So immediately the other cat calls the fuzz.
What's that?
Fuzz.
The other cat calls the fuzz?
Mr. Fenneman will explain it to you.
What is the fuzz, George?
The police.
Right.
Really?
Man, I know. I know.
Boy, he's a way out, isn't he? And he's going to be out even further before this is over. He calls the fuzz. What is the origin of this? Why do they call
I don't know the origin.
the police the fuzz?
I don't know. I don't know the origin.
Go ahead.
I just know the joke. So,
You haven't told it all yet.
no, there's a big punchline coming up here real soon.
How soon? Could you give us an appraisal?
Just about a minute. He's made the scene out the 12-story pad, so he calls the fuzz. The fuzz comes up, and as soon as he finds out what has happened, he says to this cat, the remaining cat, he says, "Man, I see what happened, but man, you should have stopped him." And the remaining cat says, "I'm hip, man, but I thought he could make it."
I don't know. Maybe I didn't get enough rest last night. Well, Well, there must be more to it than that, isn't there? That's the whole thing? Now, could you tell us that same joke in beatnik?
That was beatnik.
Oh, that was beatnik.
beatnik.
Oh, then you can go, George.
Thank you.
Well, this has all been very interesting, but we're getting nowhere with your romance. Now, Phyllis, do you think you'd be a good wife? Do you like to cook and sew and do housework and rock the cradle?
Well, I like to cook. I don't care for housework too much.
What about rocking the cradle?
Well, if I had something in the cradle, I suppose I wouldn't mind rocking it.
Well, you could put a cat in there, couldn't you? Fenneman, we're talking about cats again. Well, why don't you like doing housework, Phyllis?
Well, I just feel that if a girl keeps her house too tidy and too meticulous and everything, that she neglects her husband. She doesn't have time for him.
I don't understand this logic. Could you elaborate a little on this?
Well, I don't know, but I usually find that girls that are too fussy about their house and everything usually keep their husband unhappy and everything. I think girls that are kind of messy or keep their husband a little happier.
Well, this is certainly a new approach to marriage. I never heard that before. If a dirty house means your wife loves you, the world must be full of great love affairs. Well, you're a nice young couple with some real original ideas about life and cats. And I think you both should settle down and never get married. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life. You're going to play song puzzles. We're going to show you a cartoon illustrating a familiar song. You figure out the title of the song. You get 4 in a row right, and you win $1,000. You miss 2 in a row, and that's it. Now, George, hold up the first one.
All right.
You know what song that is? It's a very well-known song.
Yes.
Yes.
An example?
Give us the name of the song.
Yes. Time on my hands.
That's right. Time on my hands. Now, this next one.
You have one right, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, T for 2.
T for 2.
You now have 2 right.
That's right.
Right.
Now,
Right.
Yes. Hang up the next one. What is this? Now, talk it over, you know, your partners.
Eyes, I only have
The
eyes.
girl hanging on the mother's skirt, crying while a small boy paints eyes on a picket fence.
Eyes,
It's a very dirty house. Take a guess.
I only have eyes for you.
No, it's Ma, he's making eyes at me.
You have one wrong now. Don't get this next one wrong, and the game is over for you. Ready?
Yeah. You know this? This is a man in a rowboat sticking a yardstick into the water.
How deep is the ocean?
You're absolutely right, yes.
And you have one right now.
You'd make a great auctioneer, George. I like the way you handle those.
You like the work I'm doing here?
This, what is it?
You turn the tables on me?
That's right. You turn the tables on me.
You now have 2 right.
Darn right. Much better, too. Now, this is the word table, and that's the secret word, so you and Phyllis split $100. I'll give it.
You want it?
Where does this duck get all this money from? All right, put up another one.
Well, we have 2 right now,
Yes,
and here is your next chance.
Yes. This is a very old bearded cowboy chasing a cow.
I'm an old cow hand.
That's right.
Is that it?
You said
say
it.
it.
I'm an old cow hand.
There, you now have 3 right.
Now, what is this one?
Sunshine and, let's see, eggs.
This is a frying pan with 2 fried eggs on it. Through the window, the sun is shining.
Through the window, the sun.
What a poet I would have made.
Eggs.
Frying pan with 2 fried eggs on it. Through the window, the sun is shining. The bell is tolled. It was keep your sunny side up. All right, put it up.
Got the world on the street.
Yes, tell me.
Got the world on the street.
You have.
You now have
said
one
you
right.
have, yes, that's true. This is
Devil, deep blue sea.
Devil in the Deep Blue Sea is right.
You have 2 right.
You have 2 right.
1, 2, 3, I love you. I love you.
3 little words. I love you.
3, tell him.
3 little words. I love you.
That's right. 3 little words.
You now have 3 right. Ready?
Ready.
Here we go.
Of course, I could be whistle while you work, but that isn't it.
What did you just say?
Whistle while you work. That was just a guess.
Give him the money.
Whistle while you work. Keep right.
So you got yourself $1,000.
Now, you've won $1,000. Now, you can keep it and quit, or else you can come back at the end of the show and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or even $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think it over and discuss it with Phyllis, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, President.
And you're very welcome. George, is anyone going to try for the $10,000 tonight?
Yes, I think so. Skip and Gloria Fickling, would you come out and give Groucho your decision, please, right now?
What are you going to do? You're going to go for the big money?
Well,
You don't have to. Don't be
we
embarrassed.
decided not to, Groucho, because our youngest boy has just undergone major surgery, and we decided the $1,000 will come in very handy to pay off some bills.
I'm sorry, but I'm glad you won the money, and
Thank
give my
you.
love. Huh?
Thank you again.
Goodbye, Mr. Fickling.
Thank you,
Mr.
George.
Fickling sees it through.
Groucho, here are Ronnie Shell and Phyllis Warren back to tell you their decision on the big money tonight.
Well, you've won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try for the big money and you fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what are you going to do?
We've decided to take a chance.
You're going for the big money. Now, you know you get to pick two numbers. Go ahead and pick the first number for $10,000. I'll explain it as we go along. 8. Now, put an 8 up here. This is for $10,000. Now, you're going to pick a number for $5,000.
Okay, 1.
1. Now, if your second number comes up, the question is worth 5. If any other number comes up, the question is worth 2,000. Okay?
Right.
You ready? One of you give it a spin.
Go ahead.
Your numbers were 1 and 8, and it landed on 10, so this question is worth $2,000. You ready? Everybody knows Home Sweet Home. It was written by an American exile in North Africa over 100 years ago. For $2,000, who wrote Home Sweet Home? Talk it over. Who wrote Home Sweet Home? What's the answer?
Take a chance on the one you said.
Say
Or
something.
did you have one?
I'm sorry, we
Strauss?
can't. No, it was John Howard Payne. Very well. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, it's John Howard Payne. I'm sorry you missed it, so you wind up with $500. You won the secret word, too, huh? So you get $600. That's $300 apiece. That's not too bad for a beatnik, is it?
Not too bad.
Thanks for being on the show. You
Thank
bet
you
your
very
luck.
much, Groucho.
See you later.
Here he is, the one, the only.
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. And this is the word right here. You see the word?
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact. Thank you.
Don't tell them.
No. I was going to say the Groucho will grill our first couple.
Grill them? Is this a barbecue we're having here?
Groucho will grill our first couple right after this word from our sponsor. Groucho, Otho and Linjoy Pettyjohn are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Oh, Otho, is that right? Otho?
Yes.
Otho. And Linjoy Pettyjohn, huh? I thought Otho was that stuff they put around calla lilies to get rid of snails.
Ortho.
Huh?
Ortho.
Ortho.
Yes, wonderful.
Are you two married?
I believe so.
Now, how did you meet Linjoy?
Friend of mine.
You still regard him as a friend?
Oh, yes, a very dear friend. Gary Mooney. Said that I should meet this girl, that she was a real weirdie. Very strange.
Well, how'd it turn out? Was your friend accurate in his appraisal?
No, she's really a tremendous girl. Very exceptional. Very exceptional.
Were you disappointed that she wasn't a weirdy? Were you looking for a weirdy?
Well, yes, so-called.
And she turned out to be normal. That must have been quite a letdown.
Yeah.
So what happened at this first meeting?
Well, she asked me if I would marry her.
She's normal, all right. What did you say to this proposal, or were you speechless?
She was making a joke of me, so I said, don't laugh, I might marry you.
What was the next thing that happened after you said, don't laugh, I might do that?
I married her.
You know who's laughing now?
Yes.
Her mother. Were you working at the time when you nailed him?
Yes, I was.
Why did you want to get married if you had a job?
Well, I quit working as soon as we got married.
The same day? What kind of work was he doing at the time?
Well, he wasn't doing anything.
He didn't have a job and you quit yours. Now, what kind of work were you out of, Otho?
I was out of all kinds.
You were all kinds of work. Well, could you name a few of the jobs that you were out of? What weren't you doing at the time? Do you remember?
Well, window dressing and...
I've never dressed a window. Is it fun?
No, it's hot. Very hot. Warm work.
Well, do you undress the windows, too, before you dress
No,
them?
there's a particular person that undresses windows.
What do they call him?
He's a window undresser.
Seems to me that would be more interesting than the job you had, wouldn't it?
Yes, but it paid less.
What else have you done that you weren't doing?
Art, all kinds.
Art?
Warner Brothers, Camera Lab. Beg your pardon?
Diving for abalone.
Yeah, diving for abalone.
You were diving for abalone at Warner Brothers? Which
No,
of the
that
Warner
was,
Brothers had the abalone? Do you remember?
No, not right offhand. I meant that I was diving in Laguna Beach for abalone and lobster.
And did you ever catch one?
Yes. Yes, one what?
Did you ever catch a Warner Brothers while you were diving for abalone?
No.
Where did you go, to Laguna Beach?
Yes.
Which of your many occupations that you were out of did you like the best?
Living in Laguna Beach.
What did you do in Laguna
Well,
Beach?
just live by my wits, so-called.
Could you give us an example of how you made a living?
I had rent-free for 2 years for
For 2 years?
For saving a woman's life.
Huh?
I saved her from drowning. And
Where?
Laguna Beach, in the water, out. Outside.
Wait, let me get this straight. She was out of the water and you saved her from drowning? What'd you do? Grab her on the beach and pull her in the water and drown her?
I had to have 2 years free rent. I arranged it that way.
Oh.
But, you know.
What are you doing now, Otho?
Art, paintings, sculpture, jewelry.
You make you make a pretty good living?
Well, not so good that I refuse other kinds of jobs, other types of jobs.
Like what?
Oh,
Anything.
anything. Furniture, anything with...
Money attached.
With money attached. It's illegal and...
Can't you find another woman and throw her in the water? Well, Lynn Joy, I gather that you must have a job since... what kind of work do you do?
I help him.
You mean you push the women into the ocean that he later rescues? What do? You help him. Are you an artist?
Yes.
And you're an artist, too?
Yes.
Would you be happier if he had a job?
No, I'd miss him. I like to get up in the morning late and see him across the table and talk to him all day long.
Has he ever answered you?
Sometimes.
What is this bond between the two of you? Do you have any idea why you're so satisfied with each other?
Well, Otho is the first man that I've ever met that I can communicate with. In other words, talk, discuss things, and have an answer to them.
It's most unusual. Most married couples don't want to communicate with each other. Not even by long-distance phone. You sit all day and chat?
Draw pictures and talk.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to hear how you communicate. First of all, what do you call each other when nobody is around?
Well, I can't do it because there's somebody around now.
That isn't quite true. I haven't heard a sound out there in 5 minutes. What do you call each other?
Well, he calls me Tweaky Bell, and I call him Boo Boo.
Tweaky Bell and Boo Boo. Is this all there is to it? You just sit around all day calling each other Tweaky Bell and Boo Boo. And that's how you communicate. Boo Boo? How do you do it? How do you communicate with each other?
He talks words and I make sounds.
Well, let's see. Could you give us an example of it?
Well, it's sort of in categories, and it's sort of foolish.
Well, you talk to Boo Boo, and then I'll ask him.
That's me.
Do you want me to make a sound?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's horrible.
That's the mating call if I ever heard it. Boo Boo. Boo Boo, what'd she say? Could she have possibly said, "Why don't you get a job, you bum"? Now, what is it? Is that all you say to each other? Do some more sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if that doesn't get him, nothing will. What do you say, Boo? You don't care if I just call you Boo instead of Boo Boo, right? I know it's more familiar.
For him to take the garbage out.
Was that what that was? Oh. No,
That means take the garbage out? That's certainly a long ways from what I thought it was. Now, you're a nice young couple, and I'm sure you're very happy with very little, and I've enjoyed talking to both of you. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life and see how much money you can win. You selected cities and towns of the United States, small towns. I'll give you 4 cities or towns in a particular state, and you identify the state. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In what state are these cities and towns? Yuba City, Oroville, Pismo Beach, and Fresno.
California.
California's right.
You now have one right.
What state has these places? Fairbanks, Nome, Matanuska, and Ketchikan.
Alaska.
Okay.
You now have 2 right.
Now, here are the places. What is the state? Cambridge, Pittsfield, Chester, and Springfield.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, that's right.
You have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
Now, these are the 4 largest places in what state? Milford, Ellesmere, Newark, and Dover.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
No, I'm sorry, it's Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. That's strange.
Well, you now have 1 wrong.
Well, you should have known that Dover is in Delaware.
Don't get the next one wrong, and the game is over for you.
Yes.
Now, Albert Lea, L-E-A, Red Wing, Duluth, and Mankato. What state?
Montana.
Albert Lea, Red Wing, Duluth, and Mankato. What state?
Minnesota.
Come on, kids.
Duluth, Minnesota. You can't say those over.
Duluth and Mankato, Albert Lea, and Red Wing.
Montana, you want to say it?
I said Minnesota.
That's right, Minnesota.
Oh, boy. You now have 1 right.
Now tell me, what state are these in? Lockport, Fonda, Schenectady, and Tarrytown. How are you getting around my territory?
Schenectady, New York.
What do you say?
Schenectady,
New York is right.
You now have 2 right.
Where are these? Vicksburg, Greenville, Jackson, and Natchez. Vicksburg, Greenville, Jackson, and Natchez.
Mississippi.
Mississippi is right.
You have 3 right. Get the next one right, and the $1,000 is yours.
In what state are Custer, Pierre, Deadwood, and DeSmet?
Deadwood.
Custer, Pierre, Deadwood, and DeSmet.
Pierre is the capital of...
Dakota.
North is somewhere up there. that called?
Come on, kids.
Spirit.
Oh, this is really... Say it. Is this what you got?
Dakota?
Yeah, but there happens to be a number of Dakotas.
Oh. What is South Dakota? What's North Dakota?
Come on now. You got a 50-50 chance.
Well, just...
South Dakota.
Right.
Phew. Keep your $1,000 and quit, or you can come back later and try for $5,000 or $10,000.
Now go over.
So I'd like Shirley Hurd and Douglas B. Calderwood to meet you. So folks, you in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. How do you do?
Hi.
Shirley Hurd and Douglas B. Calderwood. Those are very imposing names. Mr. Calderwood, what does the B stand for?
Groucho, it stands for Boyd.
Boyd?
B-O-Y-D.
Oh. Why haven't you got a beard, then? You could be a Boyd in the bush. Are you from Brooklyn?
I'm from a little place called Yelverton in Devonshire, England.
Oh, right.
Where Dartmoor is, you know, where the prison is.
Dartmoor, oh. What were you doing in Dartmoor? Was your father a guest or a host?
My father was a marine biologist. He was the world authority on the subject of the salmon.
Really? Well, that explains what he was doing in prison. He was studying salmon in the can. What kind of work do you do?
Let me see. I've been a member of a small mining syndicate in Australia. I've been an officer in the Army in 2 world wars. After the mining thing fizzled out, I went to New Guinea and lived in the bush with the cannibals.
You really did?
I lived with the cannibals,
You're lucky you didn't go to pot. So what were you doing in the bush? Were you looking for a bird in the hand?
I was a member of the administrative service, and broadly our work was to bring the wild savage natives into our sphere of influence, to bring them under control.
You mean in civilization?
Well, so-called civilization. They were just wild cannibals. And, well, we'd go out...
pretty exciting with those cannibals, you know?
I got along very nicely with them.
They're a pretty gay crowd, you know. They're trying to get you stewed all the time. I'll get back to you in a few days, Mr. Calderwood. Right now, I'd like to discuss a few things with your partner. Your name is Shirley Booth?
No, Shirley Hurd.
Shirley Hurd? Shirley Hurd what? Isn't that an incomplete sentence?
Actually,
There was an old story like that, in an O. Henry story, you know, where the fellow wants to get a job on a sheep ranch, and the rancher says to him, he says, can you herd sheep? And the fellow says, no, that's wrong. You mean, have you herd sheep? Well, you know, O. Henry wrote that. I didn't write that. I thought you'd be interested in a little kind of a minor tidbit. Where are you from, Shirley?
I was born in South Lyons, Michigan, but I came to San Diego when I was a year old.
And do they say Shirley to bed when you were small? You know, like Shirley to rise?
I don't remember.
Well, I'm glad I thought of it.
I'm glad I didn't.
Are you married?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're a very attractive woman,
Thank
Shirley.
you.
How long have you been married?
12 years.
Do you approve of that sort of thing?
Of marriage?
Yes.
It's all right.
Oh. You mean you can take it or leave it?
Exactly. You take it or leave it alone.
Now, this fellow, where did you meet your husband, this chap that you dislike?
Emery?
Emery, is
I
that
don't
his name?
dislike Emery.
No.
Emery's real
You're
nice
not nuts
fella.
about him.
Yeah, I like Emery. He's fun.
What you don't like is the state of matrimony, is that it?
Yes, I like that, too.
Well, what don't you like?
It lasts so long, though.
Yeah, that's true.
We've been married a real long time.
Can't you knock him off?
And he tells sheep herder jokes.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're-
boy, that's the lowest form of human
Yeah,
life.
you know what I mean now.
Yeah.
No, I met him
Would you have liked me better if I hadn't told that O. Henry story?
much. I was kind of disappointed.
You're rather frank, aren't you?
Yeah. I met him. Do you really care?
I care
You
about
wanna know?
you. I don't care about this story you're going to tell, but I have no alternative but to sit here and listen to this. You see, I happen to be glued to this seat.
I was there.
I'm what they call the oldest stool pigeon in show business. Well, go ahead, Shirley, and I want you to pardon me for
What do you want to know?
interrupting you. I want to face your phone number because in the state of your relationship with your old man, it
We
seems
should get
to me,
together, huh?
Yes. You took the words right out of your mouth. What kind of work does your husband do?
He works for the telephone company. He's a deskman. He tells a deskman.
What's a deskman?
He tells the fellows that climb the telephone poles what poles to climb.
Well, are these 10-foot poles or the regular size poles?
The regular size.
And do they climb these? These are polecats, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, how does your husband know which poles to send the men to?
I never asked him. I really don't care much about poles.
Well, how do you feel about Czechoslovakia?
I don't care much about it either.
In fact, you dislike the whole continent, don't you?
No.
Does your husband like his work?
Yes, he likes it very much. He works nights, and you'd be amazed what you can do when your husband works nights.
You might be amazed, but I wouldn't. You have any hobbies like golf or tennis or forgery?
I like to travel, especially Europe.
Where do you like to go when you visit Europe?
Oh, I've never visited Europe. I'd like to see Paris, but I probably will never get there because my husband's been there and he says I wouldn't like it.
Well, you're certainly lucky to have a husband like that. He's thinking of you every minute. Well, let's stop all this chatter, I think. And now, we're going to play You Bet Your Life. You know this game, how we play.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Megan is going to play some tunes, and you tell me the title. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. How you doing? Hope I can guess.
Has there been something going on between you two while before the show started?
It would do no good to tell you I have never met this lady before.
Well, why this undue familiarity? You didn't warm up to me like that.
I kind of think that for years I've been, like all the other women in the United States, watching George Fenneman over, that is your name, isn't it? over television, too, but I'm here and I'm going to hold on for a while anyway.
You now have one right.
I'd love to.
You call that a kiss?
Mighty handsome fellow.
I wouldn't kiss a dog that way. This is really a dog. All right, here we go. This is from the show Carousel. You tell me the name of the song.
If I loved you.
Who are you talking to?
Anybody.
Is that right?
You now really have one right.
Yeah, that's right. I know that's right.
Good.
Oh, you didn't get to that one later?
The second one won an Academy Award. You tell me the name.
Zippity-doo-dah. Zippity-doo-dah.
Zippity-doo-dah is right.
And you now have 2 right.
Harold Adamson and Jimmy McHugh wrote this song.
It's a most unusual day.
You now have 3 right. $90,000.
Ray Bolger made this one famous, but it was written by Frank Lesser.
Once in love with Amy!
You got yourself... Yes, you for yourself $1,000. And you, of course, can keep your $1,000, or you can come back later and take a chance in winning more money.
You go over there and talk it over, and thanks for being on the show.
That means that both of our couples can try for... Here are Otho and Lynn Pettyjohn to give you their decision. Groucho, would you come back in, please?
Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to go with the big money?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
You take two numbers. You pick one number for $10,000 and you pick another number for $5,000. Now pick the, what number are you going to take?
5.
5, that's for $10,000. Put it up, George. Now you pick another number for 5.
8.
8. Put an 8 up there, George. Now if any other number comes up, the question is worth $2,000. Okay, give it a spin. Your numbers were 5 and 8, and it landed on 6. Well, you certainly frightened me. So this question is going to be worth $2,000. Only one composer has been elected to the Hall of Fame for Great Americans. For $2,000, what composer is in the Hall of Fame? Talk it over. Well, what's your answer?
Dvorak.
No, American composer, yes.
I'd say Ira Gershwin.
No. Yeah, well, it was Stephen Collins Forster.
Oh.
I'm sorry you missed it, but you wound up with $500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
And thanks for being with us. Sorry you didn't win, boy. You're good sports.
Billy Hurd and Douglas Calderwood, would you come back out here, please, and give us your decision?
All right. Oh, how do you do?
Hi.
About up to here. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to go for the big money? Shirley Hurd?
Oh, all right, I'll go ahead.
Well, wait, now, look, we don't want to influence you. You don't have to. You can take your money and scram. I don't want to be part of...
Okay, then I'm going to take my $500 and I'll go to San Francisco whether he says I like it or not.
Oh, good. Well, have a good time.
DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Wait, you never start a sentence with and.
Well,
Unless you're in jail, that's the only sentence you start with and.
Really?
You talk that way normally? I mean, you go over to somebody and say, and how are you today?
Yes?
Don't you like the people who come up to you and say, I bet you don't remember me?
No, I don't.
Some woman said that to me yesterday. I says, no. She says, you're Groucho Marx, aren't you? I says, yes. She says, are you sure you're Groucho Marx? I says, yes, I'm Groucho Marx. She says, Ma, you look just like him.
Here he is.
I struck her and we separated. She was an elderly woman.
Well?
About 20.
Oh, here he is, the one, the only...
Buck five to us, Han sehen vergeht. Well, here I'm again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $3. No. Right.
No.
Win up to how much?
Oh, $10,000.
$10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, we'll throw them out of the joint. Huh? No, they get an extra $100.
Right.
Is that right? Okay. And this is the word right here.
And you're right.
Yes. Who you got on the agenda there?
Groucho, Miss Kathleen Quaylen is waiting to talk to you, and her partner is a very special guest, Mr. Crash Corrigan.
Oh.
So, folk, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. Crash, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
You're a famous Shakespearean actor, aren't you, Crash? Didn't I see you a couple of years ago in King Lear?
No, sir. I'm a cowboy actor, and I make Western pictures.
Oh, well, where'd you get the name Crash? Was your father a stockbroker? Or were you born on the freeway?
No, Groucho,
You like him?
Groucho, I was making action pictures, and of course I did some football playing, and the way I used to tackle somebody, or instead of fighting with them with my fist, I used to just take off and dive at them head first, and I acquired the name Crash.
Well, I'm glad they don't name all actors by the way they fight. Otherwise, today, I'd be known as kick him in the shins and run like the devil Marx. You're a pretty big guy, Crash. What is your gross tonnage?
Tonnage?
Yes, I mean, what do you displace in the water?
Oh, I'm 6 foot and 2.5 inches tall, and I weigh 230 pounds.
Well, that's enough blubber for one man, I think. You're Kathleen Quaylen, huh?
That's right.
That's a fine Irish name now, isn't it? Now, are you originally from Ireland?
Oh, my last name is Norwegian, Groucho, and I'm from Marshall.
Quaylen is a Norwegian name?
It was Cavallan in the old country.
Oh. Are you married, Mrs. Cavallan?
Miss Quaylen.
Miss Quaylen?
No, I'm not, Groucho.
And I assume you're interested in matrimony?
Yes.
Do you have any special qualities that you're looking for in a husband?
I would like him to be intelligent.
No.
I would like him to have a sense of humor and have his feet on the ground. And, of course, I'd like him to be single.
That's a secondary consideration, though. Do you have a job, Kathy?
Yes, I
Miss
do.
Quaylen, Miss Cavallan?
Yes, I'm a stewardess with American Airlines.
You're a steward with the American Airlines?
No, I'm a stewardess.
Oh, I don't hear very well. My glasses need fixing. You have to talk to me. How long have you been in this racket, Kathy?
A little over 6 years.
6 years? Why, you don't look that old. How do the new jet airliners compare with the prop jobs?
Oh, there's no comparison, Groucho. The jets are so much faster, and you don't feel the vibration in the jets, and you don't feel fatigue in flying. And
how do you like working on a jet?
I don't know, Groucho. I haven't been on one yet.
Well, I like to talk to someone who speaks with authority. Well, I prefer the old propeller planes. The stewardesses look better when there's a little vibration in it. How fast do these stewardesses go? No, how fast do these planes go?
About 600 miles an hour.
What good does it do to go that fast? I mean, what is the point of it?
Well, you get there in half the time, and you have more time to do other things.
Like what, for example?
Well, you could leave New York in the morning and have time to play 18 holes of golf in Los Angeles.
You mean all the people that get on in New York come here to play 18 holes of golf?
No.
Suppose it's raining when you arrive in L.A. Do you still have to go out and play golf?
No, you don't have to go out and play golf.
It's not obligatory?
No, it isn't. You could play tennis.
Well, will they allow you? What's that?
Play tennis. Or go to the office.
You'll never get married on those jets. There isn't time.
That's why I haven't flown one yet.
Oh. Why don't you go by mule train? That would give you even more opportunity. What about you? Are you married, Crash?
Yes, sir. I'm married to an actress, Miss Elaine DuPont. She plays the part of Sandy in the Ozzie and Harriet Nelson television series, and it's the part opposite Ricky Nelson.
Oh. You say she's Sandy? Why is she a beachcomber?
No, she's...
Well, why is she Sandy?
Well, I don't know. Her name is Sandy in the series.
You're going to stick to that cock and bull story, huh?
Well, that's...
What is she like, this girl?
Well, she's one...
I don't mean what she likes. I mean, what is she like?
Well, she's very beautiful, and she's won 45 beauty contests. But she isn't a very good cook.
Well, don't complain. How would you like it if she'd won 44 cooking contests and looked like you? Didn't you make a lot of Western movies? Seems to me I've seen you around 1 o'clock in the morning on the movies.
Yes, Groucho, I've made, 67 Western pictures, and the Three Musketeer Westerns, and the Range
You must have
Busters.
worked for Sal Siegel, didn't you?
Sal Siegel was my producer on the Musketeers, yes, and my partner in 8 of these pictures was John Wayne. He played the part of Stoney. I was Tucson in the series.
I remember him. I fought Wayne one time, you know. It was in Indiana where I fought Wayne. You could break the heavies, the villains, with your bare hands if you had to, couldn't you? Huh?
Well, yes, Groucho, I could do that in pictures, but in real life, I'm sort of a sissy. I'll let you in on a little secret. I believe even a little feller like you could take me.
You really think so?
Yeah, kind of think so.
You cross your heart and hope to die?
Well, I think you could, yeah, I'm sure.
And you don't hit very hard?
Well, no, I'm a pretty good, jolly guy. I hardly ever hit anybody unless I'm in a picture.
You wouldn't want to step outside and say that, would you?
With you?
Yes, with me.
Well, I sure would. And I'll show you how I can even make you look good.
Miss Kathy, you're such a wise guy. You just come out here. Let me see the color of your... Now, put up your dukes, big boy. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Anybody else out there would like a crack at me? Any woman, I mean. Just come up here. Fool around with me. Dempsey sees this show. I want him to know what he'd be up against. Well, you're an unusual couple, and I've enjoyed this experience tonight, but I'm sure you'd like to win some money, so what do you say we play You Bet Your Life? Would you like that? Now, you selected world geography. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Now, what Canadian province lies directly north of the state of Washington?
British Columbia.
British Columbia is right.
That's right. You have one right.
What is the name of the mountain range separating France and Spain?
Grenada?
Well, no, it's the Pyrenees. Pyrenees.
You now have one wrong. If you get the next one wrong, the game is over for you.
In what country will you find the Volga River? Hey,
Russia. And you now have one right.
I wish you wouldn't talk and I'm singing. In what country do the Bahama Islands belong? To what country do the Bahama Islands belong?
Cuba.
Oh, no. That whole string of islands there belongs to Great Britain.
That's what...
Well, you have one wrong again.
I should have hit him hard. I would have woke up his mind. What is the name of the observatory whose mean solar time serves as a basis for standard time throughout the world?
Would you repeat the question?
I doubt it, but I will. What is the name of the observatory whose mean solar time, serves as a basis for standard time throughout the world? It's in England. I thought it was in Connecticut. Shows you what I know. Well, I'm sorry. I've given you 3 cracks at this, little one. And as much as I love you, we can't go any further with this. It's the Greenwich Observatory.
And you got 2 in a row wrong, so the game is over for you.
I'm sorry you missed 2 in a row, so you're through. We don't want you to go away empty-handed, so I'm going to ask you one question for $100. What insect is flea-brained?
The flea.
The flea? I thought you were going to say somebody in this show. Well, that's close enough. Anyhow, sorry you didn't win more, but thanks for being on the show. And I'll take another suck at you when the show is over.
Groucho, Joanna Lee, and Dick Matheson are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and demand an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Joanna Lee and Christy Matheson, eh? Joanna?
Yes.
Let's get right down to basic questions. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
No.
No.
Well, we're off to a good start. Are you thinking of marriage?
Well, I've been thinking about it, but nothing's happened.
What did you want to happen?
Well, the right thing hasn't happened. I don't believe in rushing into marriage. And I think that I don't believe in early marriages. And I think that...
You don't want to have an early marriage? You can get married at 10 o'clock at night.
I think that a woman should be a woman before she's married.
Well, yeah, well... Yeah. Now, you believe a woman should be a woman before she gets married. I certainly agree with that. I'd hate to marry a woman and then discover she was really a crocodile. Although a lot of my friends have married crocodiles. When is a woman a woman? That's kind of silly, isn't it? That's like saying, when is a door not a door? When is a jar? You like that?
Yes, I do. And
why do you like that?
You give me kind of a thought, because I think...
You give me many thoughts.
I think...
So when is a woman a woman?
I think
Around
a woman...
midnight, I guess.
I think a woman is a woman when she enjoys being a woman, when she's kind of aware of her femininity.
I'm not sure I follow you completely, but I'm certainly willing to. As soon as the show is over. Why don't you leave?
I like...
You like him?
Yeah.
I thought you liked me.
Oh, I do, but I like him, too.
Oh, your taste is Catholic. You like all of them, huh?
Not all.
Would you vote for him for president?
Are you running?
If he does me running, it'll be after you. And I'll be along there, too. Your name is Christy Matheson, you said?
Dick Matheson. No.
Where are you from?
Boise,
Dick?
Idaho.
You have boys in
originally,
Idaho? How many?
They had a number.
What sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm the religion editor at the Los Angeles Times.
Bye now. Religious editor, huh? Now, what do you do in your job?
Oh, I listen to sermons and interview clergymen, visiting religious figures that come through town, go to church 4 or 5 times on Sunday.
You take anything out of that plate?
No, but I don't put anything in.
Well, you come out even on the day, huh? Joanna, let's get back to you for a moment, huh?
Right.
Or even longer. Huh?
All right.
You know, you have a lot of assurance for a young woman in her 20s. Have you ever had any theatrical experience?
Well, yes, I am an actress.
Oh, Stanislavski?
Stanislavski, Boleslavsky, Chekhov, you name it.
Oh, you mean life is just a Boleslavski?
I like that.
You've been in movies?
Yes, I've done a great deal of television, and lately I've done a couple of science fiction pictures.
Oh, really?
I've been kind of lucky lately in working, but in my spare time, I do write greeting card verses. I work for a greeting card company.
Oh, you do, huh? Mm-hmm. You're going for the intellectual life. What do you think of it?
I think it sounds fine so far.
And would you be willing to remain away from church one Sunday? I mean, if the opportunity presented itself?
We could write great poetry together.
Yes, we could, yes. Now, Dick, have you ever tried writing anything else besides your newspaper copy?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have a new book out. It's The Eternal Search.
You have a book out, too?
Yes.
The Eternal Search? What is this, about a fellow who's looking for his car keys?
No, it's a history of medicines and drugs and...
Oh, well, that sounds very interesting.
Love potions, voodoo, old wives' tales, this sort of thing.
Well, could you give us love potions, you said? Don't you regard this as a love potion? What do you think is a love potion?
Well, you know, it's a thing that makes a guy go for a girl or a girl go for a guy.
Well, do you guarantee these love potions?
Well, I understand they work sometimes.
Well, just in case, could you put me down for 50 gallons? I need all the ammunition I can get. Well, it's been an educational experience talking to you two, particularly you. Now, let's see if you got strong enough voodoo to win some money here tonight, huh? Now, you have selected as your category folk tunes and old-time favorites. Now, the orchestra's going to play these tunes. You tell me the name. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Are you ready?
Pop goes the weasel.
No, they've changed it. It's Father Goes the Weasel. People don't say Pop anymore.
You have one right.
Identify this one.
Turkey in the straw.
Turkey in the straw, yes.
You
They
now
never
have-
did get that turkey out of there, did they? Huh?
You now have 2 right.
How about this old folk song? Music, please.
Get along, little doggy, get along.
No, I'm sorry. It's the old Chisholm Trail.
One wrong now. Don't get the next one wrong, and the game is over.
Don't threaten them.
I'm just telling them.
Tell them in a more dainty manner. Huh? Tell them more cordially. Go on.
Unfortunately, you goofed here.
George, go back to the first way you did it.
Don't get the next one wrong.
This is his idea of class. Unfortunately, you goofed here. Huh? Give me the name of this one.
Clementine.
Clementine is right.
You now have one right.
Now, this one tells a story. You tell me the name of it. Take it up.
Frankie and Johnny.
Frankie and Johnny, yeah.
You now have two
What
right.
were they?
Lovers.
That's right. How about this one? Play, Meekin.
What'd you say? Oh, Little Brown Jug.
A Little Brown Jug.
You now have three right. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
Now, this one goes back more than 100 years. You tell me the name of it.
Buffalo Girl.
Buffalo Gal, but we'll pay you
come out
anyhow.
tonight.
Now you've won $1,000. What would your wife say if you came home with her? She'd give you some cash?
Interesting to find out.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we can experiment. You've won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or even $10,000. So go over there and sit down in his lap and think about it. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That means that our second couple can try for the double chance at $5,000 or $10,000 tonight.
Hey, you want... Here I go again. I'd forgotten her, you know. Now you've won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try for the big money and you fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what do you propose to do?
We're going.
You're going?
We're
You're going for the big money. Okay, you know, you get to pick two numbers. Go ahead. Pick the first number for $10,000. You pick one.
My lucky number's 7.
7. Okay. And you pick a number for 5.
I'm going to try 9 again.
You're going to try 9 again, huh? That's 16 altogether. Luckily, we have no 16 on the wheel. Now, you know, if either number comes up, you know the rules, huh? And you know, you split the money.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if neither number comes up, the question is worth $2,000. Fair? Here we go. Oh, turn the wheel.
That should never say.
Oh, that's
Wow.
All right, this question is worth $2,000. One of the most colorful and successful of present-day novelists is the 23-year-old author of Bonjour, Tristesse. For $2,000, what is the name of this controversial French girl?
François Sagan.
Wait a minute, we got our music. We're paying a fortune for that.
But I know it.
Each one $11. All right, the answer?
François Sagan.
François Sagan is right, so you've each won $1,000. You're a big hit. Come back here. You don't tell me that you're going to church 5 times next Sunday, are you? 4, huh? He's going to skip 1. Well, congratulations, and thanks for being on the show.
You.
You too.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.
Here he is, the one, the only...
Here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win as much as $10,000 tonight. And, George, what happens if they say the secret word?
Well, they can win an extra $100.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what is the word for tonight?
Well, it's right here in the duck.
All right, George, who's first on the agenda?
Well, before we start, Groucho, I want to remind you that we have a couple of challengers to the claim made last week by Mr. Universe of 1957 that he has the most perfect build in the world. We'll meet them a little later on in the show.
Why don't you enter this contest, George? You're pretty well built. I mean, for a man.
I'm actually no muscle man.
Oh, don't be modest, George. You have more muscle in your head than they have in their whole body.
Well, Groucho will meet our first couple right after we transact some important business. Well, Groucho, we have a couple of youngsters from Europe who would like to meet you now. Susie Gall from Switzerland and Elfie Hummel from Austria. So, girls, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word. Hello. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. Susie Gall and Elfie Hummel, huh? What do you, huh? Is that right?
Yes, I'm Elfie.
Oh, what are you girls dressed like that? Are you attending a Girl Scout convention here in L.A., or are you going to a masquerade?
Oh, no. We are not Girl Scouts, we are Boy Scouts.
You're Boy Scouts, huh? How is it I never saw a Boy Scout that looked like you?
Oh, perhaps you have never been in Switzerland and Austria.
So you were a Boy Scouts in Europe?
Yeah, I think we have no Girl Scouts. Our girls are not so interested in camping and all that stuff and campfire.
That's what you think, huh? Now, why do they allow girls in the Boy Scouts in Europe?
Oh, they make better, I think, Wolf Cub leaders. These little guys from 6 to 12, you can handle them better. So it's better to be, as a girl, a Wolf Cub Scout.
How old are you, Susie?
I'm 22.
22. And Elfie?
A little more past 22.
80?
Not yet. Between 22 and 23.
23. Yeah. Well, that's the ideal age for Boy Scouts like you, especially for the Scoutmaster. But, Susie, what are you girls doing in Hollywood? You are girls, aren't you?
We are girls, yes. Yeah.
What are you doing here?
We are on a trip around the world.
And you're traveling all over the world?
Oh, yes, hitchhiking. We hitchhike. There's a camel coming, or elephant.
Camel is coming?
Yeah, sometime. If you are in the desert, yes. A bullock cart. A donkey cart. A donkey himself. Sheep. Everything. Anything. Trucks, or melon trucks, everything. We
travel
hitchhike
by
everything.
Bullock, elephant, ox carts?
Everything. Yes, much is moving on.
You know, people will ride in anything as long as it's a foreign make. Isn't it dangerous riding those wild animals?
Oh, no. Not for us anymore. Much fun.
No? Now, Elfie, what are some of the unusual countries you visited?
Yes, the most interesting was, I think Lapland was quite interesting.
Lapland?
Yes, we have some interesting countries too in Europe.
Lapland, isn't that where all good secretaries go when they die?
What? I don't think we must have... They would have to be very good skiers, actually.
What's the most interesting experience you've had in your varied travels?
Oh, I think we have had plenty, but... Yeah, but I think the most funny thing when we met the Caliph, also harem of the Caliph of Tetuan. Yes, he has Spanish Moroccan.
You met what? You met what?
The Caliph of Tetuan. The harem.
Caliph, you mean?
Yes, you call it perhaps Caliph.
Huh? Now, we call it madness. And what do you call it, huh?
He has 300 wives.
He has 300 wives, huh?
Yes, and because his harem, this was quite interesting.
You saw his harem? How do they spend their time, these wives? They can't all cook dinner every night. Or do they get in frozen foods?
Oh, they have plenty of service. They mustn't do anything. They sit on silk cushions.
All day?
And fighting it like that.
Yeah.
That's all, I mean. Pacing a little bit and wailing and unwailing. That's all what they do.
Well, you'd wail, too, if you were one wife of 300. Well, how do these wives know that the old boy hasn't got some other dame stashed away someplace?
Oh, he has. He has about 300 or something like that, he has. But
on the outside?
Yes,
on the outside.
Yeah. Pretty good job.
Yeah, oh. Imagine what it must be like when this Caliph comes home from the office unexpectedly and 300 guys are jumping out of windows. You know, even in my wildest dreams, I never anticipated that I'd be holding this kind of a conversation with a couple of Boy Scouts. Well, you're as charming a pair of Boy Scouts as I've ever come across. And it's certainly been fun talking to you. Now we're going to give you a chance to win a lot of money. Now, do you understand this game?
Yeah, that's our category, and we have to pick out something.
Yeah, that's right. The idea is to win if you win $500, you get a chance later at $5,000 or $10,000.
Yes.
You have 4 chances. In other words, you can pick 4 questions from any rows you want.
I see.
100, 200, 300. Now, the 100 are fairly easy. The 200 are a little more difficult, and the 300 are a little tougher than any of them.
I think so.
You understand?
Well, we like what it means.
Try to get a total of 500. Here, there's a $200 question.
Oh, that's our whole life is depending.
$200. To what country does Greenland belong? And if you don't know, guess. What do you know?
Denmark.
Denmark, that's
Denmark.
right. Now you've got $200.
You've got $200. All right, now remember you have 3 more chances, and you can pick any ones you want. Yeah, the object is to make $500 altogether. You've already got 200.
All right, that's It's terrible.
Now listen, kid, keep quiet. Let me read it. For $200, the Yalu River separates Korea and what other country? You ask her because she might know something too.
And China.
What do the giant minds, the Brain Trust, have to say about this?
North and South Korea. It's not
All right,
North and South
well, no, it's Manchuria, and that's part of Red China, so now you have $400.
Right, one more. You have 2 more chances.
How much have I
You have
now?
2 more. You have $400. 2 more chances to make 500.
Come on, boys.
Another 200. You'll have 600, and you'll be in the running for 10,000 at the end of the show if you get this one right.
What is the mountain range separating France and Spain?
Pyrenees.
That's right.
You now have $600. You have one more. You're already. You have 600. That's good. Believe me, that's good.
Why should they believe you?
Oh, I was a Boy Scout once.
For the FBI?
You can't lose now. In other words, you're in, and this is all gravy now.
You're schwitzing, huh?
Yeah, very much trembling.
For $200, what country lies directly south of Denmark?
Germany.
Germany. Is right, yes, that's
And
true.
you wind up with a total of $800. So
You
we'll
got $800.
see you back here for a chance to maybe $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 at the end of the show.
You hear that?
Wonderful.
And listen, you come back later, and now you get $800.
Thank you.
Go down to the J.C. Penney and each buy yourself a skirt for $1.25, will you? What's next, George?
Well, last week, Mr. Universe of 1957...
Mr. Universe?
Yes, he was on our show last week.
Is somebody by that name?
Yes, his name is actually Reginald Lewis. And his wife said that he had the most perfect figure in the whole world. And
His wife, well, she ought to know.
Anyway, Groucho invited any men listening who figured that they had a better figure to get in touch with us and
figure that out.
And many of them did, and we selected 2 to be on our show tonight, and I think they're ready now, Groucho.
Well, you may be wondering what we're doing with a stunt like this, but I'm sick of looking at beautiful girls. Well, that's true. And I thought for a change we ought to give the women a break by having some handsome men up here. Let's face it, we're all animals, deep down. Everybody knows there are male wolves, so there certainly must be female wolves. Otherwise, there never would be any little tiny wolves. And then where would we be then? Huh? Now, George, how are we going to decide who the winner is?
Well, we thought it would be a good idea if we maybe selected a woman from our audience to be a judge.
All right, well, let's get a woman out there. Is there a woman out there who'd like to be a judge of this contest? If so, stand up.
Stand up?
Any woman
so we
at
can see
all.
you?
Any woman at all.
Stand up.
How's the one with the gray dress? Red dress. All right, red dress. Come on. The audience holler they want the woman with the red jacket here, in case they go hunting. How do you do? What is your name?
Lillian Watkins.
It is? Well, that's a mighty fine name. And are you married?
I'm unmarried now.
Okay, otherwise you were going back in the audience, you know. Your name is Lillian Watkins?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you think you're qualified to pick the man with the best build?
Well, I certainly should be. I was married 30 years.
To one man?
The same one.
Send the other woman back. We want a woman who's had 4 or 5. Okay, I guess you're qualified. George, bring in the challenges.
All right, Mr. Don Scott, who was Mr. Physical Fitness of 1956, and Joe Gould, the most perfect man of 1956. Would you gentlemen come in, please?
Come on in, boys. Okay, boys, start flexing.
And I have to...
Now, you walk in front of them there, and you decide which one you think would be the... I'll go with you, huh? You want a tango? Which one do you... Hey, no touch. Let it go around the back and take a look at them. Now, they may look better from the rear end.
Oh, they're good. I think this is the available.
You like this one? Okay, Blondie, I'm sorry, but that's the way the muscles bounce. We'll give you another chance. Come on over the microphone. Now, what do they get, George, for displaying their shapes up here?
Well, for our winner here...
He's the winner?
Yes, Joe Gold. He gets $101. And for Mr. Don Scott, we have second prize money of $99.
I see. Well,
I'll give them the $2 because I couldn't see much difference between them.
Well, do you want to take one of these home with you?
I'd like to.
What is your name, man?
Joe Gold.
Are you married?
No.
Are you interested in getting married to a girl who's been married for 30 years?
Well, I've been a bachelor this long. I figure I'll still stay a bachelor.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Some other time, huh? Thanks for coming up.
We have a prize for...
oh, you got a prize for her, too?
Yes.
What she get, the other fella?
No.
You get 100... she gets $102.
$102.
Because you've got a more... Yeah, you've got a more interesting figure than either of them. Thanks to all of you and to the winner. We'll see you again next week, huh?
Thank you.
Out of it.
Sam Baer and Irene Marshall are on deck now. So, folks, you can please and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. Sam Baer and Irene Marshall. Huh? Now, which one is Baer? I'm sorry it's you. You can't be Baer. You're fully dressed. I decided we'd get that joke out of the way quickly, and we can get on to the regular show. Now, what kind of a name is Baer? Is that animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Indian.
You're an Indian?
32nd part Indian.
Oh. Now, if you're only 1/32nd Indian, how do you know you're an Indian at all?
Well, I was 24 before I knew that I had any Indian blood.
I was 24 before I found out a chicken had anything but a wing. That's an old vaudeville joke that never gets a laugh. You like it? Now, Sam, do you have any of the Indian's characteristics? I mean, do you ever have an uncontrollable urge to drink firewater and kill all the people who make westerns?
I walk pigeon-toed. My children walk slightly pigeon-toed. In fact, the whole family does.
Oh, really? Well, I have a friend who walks pigeon-toed, and he isn't an Indian.
I like birds and animals.
Now, what kind of a job do you have, Sam?
I cut out silhouettes.
You do, huh? You cut out cigarettes, so I think you're very smart. I tried cutting out cigars once, but it didn't work. What's cutting out cigarettes got to do with your job?
Well, I cut out silhouettes, not cigarettes.
Oh, silhouettes. Oh, I see. Well, how do you make a living cutting out silhouettes?
Oh, by being good enough so that the people like them.
And they buy these from you?
Mm-hmm.
You're Irene Marshall, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, well, you're a very pretty girl, Irene.
Thank you.
Where are you from, Irene?
San Francisco.
Well, which do you like better? Do you prefer San Francisco or do you like Los Angeles?
I prefer San Francisco.
Well, why don't you live there if you like it better?
Well,
somebody out there was run over by a trolley car.
my family prefers Los Angeles.
Your family lives here and you live in Frisco, huh?
Well, no, we live together here.
How big is your family?
Well, I have one little girl, and a parakeet, 2 cats, 17 turtles, a dog, and 4 alligators.
4 alligators and 17 turtles, and this is your family?
Certainly.
Be interesting to see what her husband looks like. Is your husband in the audience, Irene, or is he in a zoo someplace? I'd like to meet him, throw him a few peanuts or something.
He might be there. I don't know. We're separated.
Oh, you separated? Well, you are if he's in the audience and you're here.
No, we're permanently.
Well, I can't understand why you're separated. A girl with 17 turtles and 4 alligators. Have you got names for these gators?
Oh, certainly. There's Albert, Aloysius, Anatole, and Alphonse.
Why did you name them all with A? Did you want them in the front part of the telephone book?
Well, those names appeal to me. They start with A, like alligator, you know.
Oh, I see. Those are all boys' names, aren't they, those names? How do you know if an alligator is a boy or a girl?
Well, I don't think this concerns anybody except another alligator.
Well, it's certainly a logical answer. I can't argue with that. Where do you keep these lovable monsters?
In the bathtub.
In the bathtub? You must take an awful lot of showers. Where is your husband now?
He took off for parts unknown.
He's no fool, this guy. What sort of work do you do, Irene?
I'm a legal secretary.
A legal secretary? Well, I'm looking for an illegal one, if you know. If you know any, we could do some business. Would you like to take another whack at marriage?
Oh, definitely.
What sort of fellow would you like to marry? Somebody who's crazy about turtles and alligators?
Well, I mean, not necessarily, but he must take me as I am. And also he must go to work and keep his mouth shut.
You want a man who will work, keep his mouth shut, and take a bath with 4 alligators. Well, I must say you've narrowed down the field quite a bit, Irene. Apparently you don't believe in romance at all, huh?
Well, this business of opposites attracting is a lot of baloney, Groucho.
A lot of baloney, huh?
People should marry somebody just as ugly as they are, because community of interest is very important, and they should marry somebody just as energetic or just as lazy as they are, and then they can either work themselves to an early grave, digging ditches, you know, or if they're lazy, they're both lazy. They can lie around in the sun like a couple of alligators and starve to death and come to the miserable end that way.
Well, it's one of the prettiest descriptions of marriage that I've ever heard. Irene, if you ever quit that law office, there's a great job waiting for you as an embalmer at some undertaking. You're a most unusual couple, and it's been quite an experience talking to you, Irene. Now, let's see how much money you can earn. George, we have a man back here who's coming out here to... This is Mr. Fenneman. This is Irene.
You understand how
this is $100, this is $200, and this is $3. And if you get a total of $500, you get a chance at the big money later.
You have 4 questions to get a total of $500.
But you got to get $500. You got to get 5 total.
The 300 are more difficult than the 2, and the 2 are more difficult than the 1.
Sometimes the more difficult ones are the easiest.
Sometimes.
Spoken like a true redskin. What happened to your husband? You never did tell us.
Well, it was just one of those things. It got a little bit too crowded, and it was a question of elimination and survival of the fittest.
Didn't you let one crocodile go and keep your husband? You selected world geography.
Oh, that's right.
All right, this is the first one for $100. Huh? The island of Malta is located in what body of water?
On the Mediterranean.
Mediterranean is right.
You now have $100, 3 more questions to make $500.
Take one, Sam.
There we go.
Sam, has anybody ever come up to you and go, no? Well, I'm glad to hear that.
That went by, though.
Oh. For $200, to what country do the Bahama Islands belong? Bahamas.
Right. Take yourself. Good job.
Yes, we have no Bahamas. Huh? Come on, kid.
Great Britain.
Great Britain is right. Oh, this kid is no fool.
Now have $300 and 2 more chances to make 5. Which one do you want to select? $100 one. This will give you a total of 400.
In what country, for $100, is Antwerp?
Belgium.
Belgium is right. But in the future, talk it over before you answer, because she might have said Africa.
You now have $400, 1 more chance to make 5.
You still got to get another $100.
For $200.
What is the largest city in Africa?
Cape Town.
No, I'm sorry, it's Cairo.
Well, you wind up with $400, which of course you get to keep, but that does not qualify you for coming back and trying for the $10,000.
Well, at least you're leaving here with more money than you came in, and that's not too bad. Thanks for being with us. You bet your life.
Thank you, Groucho.
And now, George, we have the wheel here. Let's see if anybody's going to win $10,000.
Groucho, Susie Gall and Elfie Hummel earned $800 in the quiz, so here they are back again. Right in here, girls. Right here.
Here you are, boys.
For the big money, girls.
Well, congratulations. You know, this year, everybody who wins at least 500 in the quiz gets a chance at the wheel. And if you miss the big question, you still get to keep everything you've earned so far. Is that clear? Pick a number first.
First, guess on the, yeah.
A number from 1 to 10. Just say it out
5.
loud. 5. That's for $10,000. Now you pick a number for $5,000.
8.
8. Now, if any other number comes up, the question is worth a total of $2,000. Now, whatever you win is your total for the night, okay? Now, one of you spin the wheel.
Oh, what?
Just turn it. Pretty close. Well, anyway, this question is worth $2,000. A total of $2,000. How much have you got so far? 800?
Yeah, 800.
You don't have to walk anymore, you kids. You can ride them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All right, it's for $2,000. One of the most famous ballerinas of all time was the creator of the Dying Swan Ballet. For $2,000, who was this great dancer? Legendary name.
Ulanova?
Who is it?
Ulanova?
No, you're close, but it's Pavlova.
Oh.
Anna Pavlova, probably the most famous ballet dancer of all time. I'm sorry you missed it, but you wind up with $800, and that isn't too bad. Thanks, boys, for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you in the saloon later. Huh? And no matter which of our products you buy, tell them Groucho sent you.